Hey, welcome to the all spoilers episode of I don't even know what to call this. This can't be. We call it like for a few dollars more. How about that?
That works actually, yeah.
Totally works, right? Yeah. So please don't listen to this. I'm not even gonna post this on the actual podcast. I might just put this on SoundCloud only, so it doesn't show up in your iTunes. Because I am
No,
pretty
no,
aware
no.
that if
At
you
some point, everyone will see this
no,
movie.
yeah, no,
Look,
no,
I
yeah.
mean,
I'm just
there's no
saying.
reason not to post
Look,
it.
if I posted this on the website,
Hmm.
that means that people that subscribe to the podcast, it would just get downloaded to their computer or their Apple device.
Okay,
So
but
they could find out an accident. So I don't know.
and
I'll,
you know,
I'll
if
figure
they're
out a way to
listening
do
to
it.
it right now, then they have the chance to hear this warning right
This
now.
is true.
Stop listening
Yes.
if you have not seen The
We're
Force
going to
Awakens.
ruin this movie. So
If
if
you
you're
don't want to
planning
hear
to
anything,
not see this until after Christmas for some reason, so your job sucks and they don't appreciate you as a person, just please don't listen to this.
if you
I know I
don't,
would be
yeah,
mad.
if you
I
don't
know
want
I'd
to
send
hear
hate mail.
anything, like if someone said to you, "Oh, Han Solo dies in this movie," and that would piss you off, then
So we're gonna start there.
yeah, we're there. All right, it's already
I
done.
don't know
So
if you. I mean, okay, given the scene and where it happens and what happens afterwards with the fight blowing up and the planet getting destroyed, we can call it the circular base a planet. It is a planet.
hmm
It's retrofitted to be a base. You know, like because when I don't know if it was shock, but I didn't have like any real emotional attachment to that scene. Like I wasn't invested for some fucking reason. Maybe it was the way it was filmed. I don't know. And no one, I didn't hear any audible gasps either, or no one in the crowd like when, like I didn't hear like what the hell, like I didn't hear anything. Like it didn't seem like anyone was really affected. And I try to talk about it with my friends when we were leaving, but you know you can't really because there's people waiting to see the movie. But I didn't get the feeling that either of them did too. Like I don't know if it was just handled really poorly, or the fact that maybe everyone's feeling that maybe he didn't die for real, as even though it
okay,
doesn't really
okay.
make sense.
That I really hope that does. That's a trend in movies I really can't stand, which
Like he
is bringing
clearly
people
died.
back from
Like
the
he
dead.
got
Yeah.
stabbed by the hilted lightsaber. He fell to his obviously death, and like I said, the whole base blows up too. So he's probably fucking dead 3 times over. But I seriously just was in disbelief, and I still am. Like, not that they would do that because I mean they already froze him in carbonite once, so that's kind of like killing him. And he was blind in the opening of Return, so like they've already done bad things to him before. Um, but like I don't know, for some reason, like maybe it's because he has the solo Han Solo movie in a year and a half from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Like he's not actually dead. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, I didn't get.
Maybe he was so good in this movie it didn't matter that he died.
See, for me, I mean, I saw this at 9 in the morning, so my theater was a little over half full, probably 75% full.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I didn't get any audible gasps either.
Right?
But I did react to it. I mean, that I thought that did get to me. Like
I'm
this
still thinking
idea,
about it. Yeah.
this idea that that Carrie Fisher or that Han and Leia's son ends up being Kylo Ren. Like the moment that
Which
was
I'm
brought
okay
up,
with.
I thought that was great.
That was yeah,
That
that
was
was
the
great. I think I might have heard a couple gasps for that. I know, like in my head, I was like, ah, I knew he
that
had to be someone's kid.
yeah, and that made that character so much more interesting. That
Yeah.
it's he's not just some Darth Vader fanboy. There is
You
a
know
family
that
tie in there.
from what you know about Han, you can assume that he's pretty much a neglectful father. Like, especially when you find out that he's just hanging around, hanging out with Chewie, doing the exact same things where they left off.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
mean,
not where they left off, but yeah.
I just
And
it's really the circumstances behind that death where I was just like I knew it was gonna happen like in the back of my mind, but
right,
I
because
really
like you
but
knew what he
I
was
really
going
didn't
through.
want it to.
You
But
knew because like look, you already had the son saving his father moment in Return,
hmm
and you couldn't really have it again because if the big thing about this movie is that most people, the detractors, are gonna say that it's too much like A New Hope. Like it's
he's
the exact same
basically
thing. It's
Obi-Wan Kenobi in that
yeah,
scene. Yeah.
yeah. You have Han Solo being Obi-Wan Kenobi and struck down, and Rey getting powerful. You have this really good pilot who's not Luke, but probably gonna have the Force at some point in the trilogy, who is like using X-wing to blow up a Death Star, and they do it basically the same way, just it's a little bit more complicated. It's very much so a similar movie. You got a Mos Eisley Cantina scene and all that shit, even though it's way better. But yeah, like you knew that they had to change something, and they changed that, and maybe just going into it, like everyone kind of knew that something bad had to happen as a Star Wars movie after all.
Yeah, honestly, this in my mind, like, of course, this was never going to happen, but in my mind, a way that it probably could have or should have been done was that it would have been done in Episode 8, and in my mind, I always thought Han Solo should die on the Millennium Falcon. It should blow
It just
up, and it
blows
should
up.
be yeah, it should be a captain goes down with a ship moment where not only is he gone, but so is the Millennium Falcon, and that's a bit of history dying right there. And
Talk about the
you better hope that
Falcon.
if you did that, that he should be attached. Audiences should be attached to whatever's new at that point. But
Talk,
honestly, though, the
Mhm.
way that this was done, I honestly thought it was
Seems
a
weird.
really fitting end for that character. It's they wanted to take him out in Jedi, but doing it this way, I thought it was perfect. It's really fucking tragic though, and I'm kind of bummed that we won't be seeing Han Solo anymore. But that is a great way to
Solo
do it.
film. What are you talking about? For all you know, they're
Harrison
gonna make like a.
Ford.
I still hope that this is what they do. The framing structure, since everyone knows that Kylo Ren's his kid now, or I mean Ben Kenobi Skywalker, or whatever's
They call him
Ben
Ben, yeah,
Solo.
yeah.
I know he's named after Ben, like that, like before they retcon all the canon, like in the fan fiction, he was named after Ben Kenobi. And
You
I think
know,
his name was like Ben Anakin, like, or maybe that's no.
you just
Luke's
want
kid,
that
his name is
framing
Anakin.
story where Han Solo's telling
Yeah,
Ben
so
a story,
he's
a
sitting
bedtime
down.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Han Solo is hanging out with Ben, and like Leia's in the background cooking or whatever, and he's just like, "Oh, so you want to hear about how I did this, kid? Do you?" And he just tells him the whole thing. At the end of it, it's Han Solo old, and he's like, "That's all the stories I got, kid. That's it."
that could still work.
It could totally still work.
Yeah,
Because I have to imagine that. I mean, before they gave him a script, that Harrison Ford signed a multi-picture deal. Maybe he'll come back as a Force Ghost, even though that doesn't really make sense.
no,
But like for a moment there, and I think that's what they were trying to like hint at when Ray and Solo when they're having. I keep on calling him Solo now because that's what fucking Finn calls him. When they have that moment, like, those series of moments on the ship anyway, which like leads up to him offering her a job on the ship.
hmm
Like I was like, is this his daughter? That I'm okay with that. Like that's what I thought going into. I thought that that was their daughter, and then I was like, oh, maybe she and Ren are siblings, but the cousins thing makes more sense to me.
All right.
I think Leia, I mean not Leia, I think Luke got some chick pregnant and she dropped him off
Here's the thing.
on a sand
I
planet.
sort of alluded to this with midichlorians. I really hope to God
There's
she's
no
not a
fucking chance.
Skywalker. I mean, the way that they haven't said anything definitive in the
What you
movie.
telling me? So like Luke
No
just
one says
fizzed into
something.
the air,
Here's the thing.
and
No
like
one.
a baby came to be.
Okay, now here's the thing. If it is a bloodline thing, then it's no different to me than midichlorians are. Like the idea of the Force is that it could be something that anybody could get. So,
Yeah.
the fact that this could be just a total stranger that is not related to anybody else, that's an idea that I'd be more on board with,
But
honestly. Like,
the
I mean,
Star Wars saga is the Skywalker saga.
yeah.
It's 100% about the Skywalker family, and having just
And
one.
Kylo Ren is in that. I
No,
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
he totally is. But him alone, especially because up until this point, and you've said in the other episode that the first movie in a trilogy doesn't have lots of characterization. I just don't see him carrying or holding the movie because, like, yeah, like I have this
I
faint
think his art
idea
is
that
pretty
he's gonna
obvious that he's gonna turn, though.
turn. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
it's
probably gonna
probably gonna
turn.
happen.
I like what I thought. I was talking, like a week ago. I was like, I have things that I think are gonna happen. This is what I thought was gonna happen. I thought that Poe, and I still think he can. I thought that Poe was gonna turn to the dark side. He was gonna be like Kylo's apprentice after that. Like, 'cause I saw that torture scene in the trailer where he had like Kylo had his hands around his head and he was
hmm
like looking bad. I was like,
Just
he's
far more fierce than it was in the actual
oh yeah,
movie.
it
Yeah.
sucks in the movie. I was like, maybe he's gonna be the new Sith Lord, and that could still happen. That would totally still happen, because it's got to be someone. It's pretty obvious that he's gonna turn. Like it was like
Do you
his
think so?
saving grace. Yeah, like he had to kill Han. He had to kill his dad to try to see if he was 100% dark. And after he got his ass kicked by a girl who has no training in the Force, I'm pretty sure that he's gonna
Well,
have
she
to
can
swallow
fight
his
though.
pride.
Like that's honestly, is that
No,
she can
but
she can hold. She's
he
got that stick thing. She knows how to fight. It's not really.
sure, but he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
He has a scar on his face. He got his shoulder fucked up. He got his leg fucked up. Like he already got blasted a little bit earlier, so sure, like he was kind of injured, but the way he was like hitting himself, which I didn't quite get, it doesn't matter. It looked cool. Think about it. If you were trained by your uncle, who's the only Jedi in the universe, and you like start a rebellion or some shit, and you like join the dark side or create the dark side or whatever, and you have all these kick-ass abilities for you to get kicked, like someone who just learned about the Force, like let's say what 10 hours earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it got to be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. No, no. I mean, I don't know how he's gonna face Snoke
Why didn't
at that
they
point.
show? Oh, this one I don't get. At the end of the film, why didn't they show what Hux like picking up Kylo Ren? Like the way they kind of end it, like someone could assume that he fell to his death in that ravine.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen. We know
Oh,
he's coming
obviously,
back.
but like they don't really show that it wouldn't happen. It could have easily. He's just abandoned there. How would they find him in the first
Yeah, I
place?
mean, it would have been better if they did show it. I think, like for one split second, it wouldn't have hurt
Yeah.
anything. But then, at the
Like him
same time,
walking, like getting carried onto a ship. Imagine if he
it
got
really
like,
doesn't hurt anything either, though. I don't know why they didn't do it, but it
imagine if his injuries were so severe that they actually had to put the helmet on him all the time. That would have been awesome. He probably would have loved that.
probably. No, I mean, he doesn't have any injuries in the face or anything, though.
No, yeah,
So
he
yeah,
got scarred in the face.
it's not that bad.
It's not horrible or anything, but enough for someone to want to wear a mask, I think.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure he's gonna put the mask back on, and that mask is awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Like I love the sound of the voice coming through that mask.
Way better than the Bane voice. It's like that's what the Bane voice should have sounded
I
like.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's kind of like, did you ever see the original trailer where everyone complained about the voice? It kind of actually did sound
The
like that.
IMAX one?
Yeah, the
Yeah, no,
original.
I prefer that
Yeah,
one,
it
honestly.
sounded good. And
Yeah.
then because like it's
Like
at the
I got
point where
pissed off when the movie came out and I heard that it sounded like a loudspeaker megaphone. It was just like
right?
the original
And
voice is so much
I
better.
remember I was talking to someone about this. I was like, I can't believe they did an overdub just for Bane's voice. And I'm like, no, they didn't. I was like, you fucking stupid. They totally did.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, that's an example of fans bitching and moaning about everything and ruining movies. I mean, like, there's so many. I don't know. I'm sure that Nolan worked hard on the movie, but like, there's so many things that it just feels like they're kind of tired of it, and it's just being done out of spite. Like even the Robin thing. Like, I can't help but look at that as a joke because
I mean, we've already talked about this
yeah.
before. That's just not.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. But
I mean,
I'm just I don't know. It's a shame when fans have to bitch about stuff, and because that it does affect changes in movies sometimes for better, but a lot of times for worse. I think
do you think people forgot that the Tumbler was on the Millennium Falcon the whole time in this film?
that the what?
The Tumbler, the Batman, the Batmobile from the Nolan trilogy. You don't remember that? The first footage that they showed of this film like a year and a half ago, JJ shared it on Twitter, where it was like a pull away of the Tumbler, and it was a reveal to show the whole Millennium Falcon. The whole film, that whole CG model of the ship had the Batmobile on it.
I did not notice that.
You can find. I'm pretty sure you can still find this video on YouTube. I doubt they got rid of it. It was like a little joke, and especially the way that Scott Snyder was like posting YouTube clips leading up to this release. They're obviously I would assume they're buddies. I don't know. There's not really that many spoilers to talk about. Just like I really hope that they showed Snoke like more. Like
Yeah,
but they did it a
there
good
are
amount. Like in comparison to what they do with the Emperor in A New Hope, like
Mhm.
it was about the same amount. Like it was equal.
Well, the Emperor's not in A New Hope, but he's an Empire. But I mean, there is a build up there, though. I think by the time you get to at least Episode 9, there's probably going to be some big battle there. Maybe I don't think he'll probably be as big, or who knows? Because
I think there's gonna be
I thought that was
a Wizard
interesting.
of Oz type thing. Because at first I thought actually that was him.
Yeah, I know, and
I think
I
it's a Wizard
like
of Oz
that.
thing. I think he's like a real puny, tiny little guy who got fucked up, and then he like projects this image to feel big. He probably has nothing to do with the Force. I don't even.
Turns
I mean,
out
he
he's
could.
like Yoda small.
Yeah, like maybe. Like we'll find
That'd
out.
be
But
funny.
I have a feeling like he said I have to complete his training. Did he even train Kylo? Well, I mean, we're gonna find this shit out.
Well, he
Like,
seduced him. We know that.
yeah, there. I mean, there has to be. Well, did he? Like, that's why I hope in the beginning of 8, like Luke, he just has like this moment where he like talks about the story or something happens, or I'm sure there's gonna be a comic book out there or something along the line, so you can piece it all together. But I think that's the strongest thing about this film, that there are so many mysteries that you want to know the answers to. Obviously, like the big ones being like who's Rey's parents, like what's gonna happen to Finn, like where they go from here, like what is BB-8 gonna be always this cool?
Yeah, speaking of droids, this I haven't read anything, and I'm probably not going to for weeks, just because I don't want to
The
hear people
weird
complain.
R2D2 coma.
Yeah, I mean,
I made a
that's
joke.
such a plot hole. Like,
I made a
I can
joke
accept it because
that
I had so much fun with it, but that's very convenient. Maybe, I mean, maybe it could have been something like Luke reactivated him and just said, "Hey, I'm here. I feel in the Force that everything's okay. So send the girl my way, and I'll be waiting on the top of this mountain." Like maybe something
I
like
mean, no,
that.
I
But
mean the way
that
they
was
set
just
it up,
so
it was the
convenient.
whole R2 went into low power mode when he realized
But he
that
had the map the
it's
whole
gone.
time. Like,
I mean, that's kind of that makes sense. That's something that would have probably happened. Actually, it is
I
R2.
don't know. It just felt
So
very convenient when he woke up. But it doesn't bother me in the grand scheme of things. But it really is a pull, though.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there were several here. I mean, like
That's just the one that really stood out to
a
me.
big one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, at least it wasn't fan. Like I really love that Han and Leia moment. And when you think about that, he's gonna die shortly thereafter.
Just
Like
makes it
it should have.
worse.
It makes it a lot worse. But you knew C-3PO was gonna do that because that's him. He always cock blocks that way. But it does make it pretty hurtful when you
Yeah.
realize that he's gonna die
I'm
a little
sure
bit.
it's going to be even worse when I see it again.
Right? You're like,
Yeah.
you mother, you ruined this moment. You ruined it. Um, did you go online and see that
I told you I haven't gone online.
okay, well, Daniel Craig has a cameo in this. He plays the stormtrooper that
Yeah, okay, I
uh,
heard about that. Yeah.
Rey uses her Jedi
Yeah,
mind
that
trick
was
on.
funny too. Like that, I'm gonna look for that voice even more. So
How
now,
like that's like one of my problems with this movie. How did she know about the Jedi mind trick?
I don't think it's so much that she knew. It's just
She was
at that
just
moment.
figuring out if she could do it.
Yeah, like at that moment, because she knew there was definitely something, and it was clear, and she probably, she's heard the myths and the stories about what Jedi can do, so
Sure.
it's her testing her abilities. But that's also one of the funnier moments in the movie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Like anytime Ray was on, not Ray. I mean,
and I
anytime
will
Finn
drop
was
my
on
gun.
screen, like Finn was fucking funny. Like
Hey, if
it
that's
was.
Bond though, that makes the movie even better.
It makes a good amount good. Like Michael Giacchino has a cameo too as a stormtrooper who does like nothing apparently, and like also someone else. I thought the lost cameos, like when they're talking about how to destroy the Starkiller base, were pretty cool. There's like three really quick. There's Ken the Young, the other guy. I'm surprised there wasn't like a Hurley or like a Locke or something like that. Maybe in the next one.
Yeah, I was amazed that Admiral Akbar was still alive.
And he looked really
He's
cool
real
too.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
No,
was
no, those
awesome.
eyes weren't real.
It was too quick, honestly, for me to notice
That
that.
wasn't no those eyes looked too good. They were blinking too. You can't. I don't think you could get like a Stan Winston thing to do that. I'm pretty. I think that was just CG and it was really done. The people I saw this with, they were complaining about Maz, Lupita Nyong'o's character being really shitty CG. I thought it was amazing.
It's clearly CG, but I
It's
don't think it's
supposed to be
bad.
CG.
Yeah, like I don't know what they mean by shit. It's
I don't know.
no,
It's
but I
an
mean,
like they were like, why did it have to be? I wasn't talking to them. I was hearing them vent. I was like, they were like, why did it have to be a CG character? I was like, because it's a fucking 1,000-year-old being.
yeah.
Are you gonna? How would you age a human that long?
It seems also by Star Wars logic that the shorter you are, the
Oh yeah,
longer you live.
the spectacles. I hope they didn't kill her. Well,
Yeah,
she said like you're gonna. That's a story. Like how she got the lightsaber. That's a story I'm gonna have to tell you another time. So I really hope they don't. Like it'd be stupid to like, get rid of your only Oscar-winning actor in the first film.
no, she seems to be kind of like the Yoda
Yeah, which
of this
I'm
one.
okay
Yeah,
with.
and I'm cool with that absolutely.
Especially
Also, weird thing with her and Chewie there, just that reference.
oh yeah, that she likes
It
him.
was like, oh man,
I like that. And like he was like, oh,
I was like,
he's on the ship.
I wonder how if Ryan Johnson's gonna play with that at all.
Maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows? I mean, how? Let's just talk about this. How the fuck did Chewbacca outlive Han Solo? He's alive on Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith,
hmm
and he's fully grown. Okay, and at no point in this film does it feel like he's an old man.
no, they gotta have really long lifespans.
Apparently,
Yeah,
also like Chewbacca had like no real emotional investment in Han dying. Like, okay, yeah, he shot Kylo Ren with his crossbow, cool, but like he didn't.
We didn't really get that moment, no.
There's no mourning sequence. I mean, obviously, they don't have a body to make an effigy of, but there's no funeral. There's like there's very little consequences of his death. And I think that's partially why I had very little reaction to it. Like it just seems like something that didn't happen.
No,
Like something
I
that you
do
can
wish that
block
they
out of your mind.
I do wish there was a bit more closure there, but at the same time we didn't really get much for Obi-Wan either, and I mean
You
it's
didn't need it.
I guess that would have messed with
He's
the
a force
pacing of
ghost.
this movie kind of. I
The
mean,
difference there though
the
is
moment
like
itself was brutal enough for me, and just Leia's reaction to it when she felt that something was wrong, like that,
that
to
was
me,
good.
that was kind of enough. I'm sure
In
that
terms of
we'll
the
get a
comparison
moment.
to Obi, like to compare it to Obi-Wan, like he came back in the next two films as a Force ghost. The fact that you didn't know who he was at this point, like he was just a character, and that he's talking to Luke the rest of the movie anyway, like it was okay. Like you're like, oh, he's not really dead, and the whole you strike me down, be even powerful than before. Like it's okay, but like here it's just oh, it's finality, it's done, and you're right.
We
Like
might
yeah,
get some
Leia,
proper moment in the next movie where they
like
really have time to dwell on it.
Luke talks about it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Han dying was why R2 came to life or something. Like you said, like maybe Luke like made a force pulsar. I don't know. I can't
We'll
fucking
see.
come up with a reason. I mean, they're not going to explain that.
We got
Why would
what,
they
like
explain that
14 months to go? We'll find out.
for Rogue One?
No, for episode 8.
No.
Yeah, May 2017.
Yeah, that's not 14 months.
16 months.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
a year and a half.
My bad.
It's like 18 almost.
All
So it
right,
seemed a lot longer than that.
my bad.
I thought one of the better moments of this film, and I got like one of the more genuine fan reactions from my crowd, was the Millennium Falcon reveal.
That was good.
Because you knew that it was going to be in the movie. Everyone knew. You knew Han and Chewie were going to show
I
up,
thought that they were gonna like show up in that action sequence, like they
right?
were sleeping there or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
But then like they were like, "Well, we don't want that piece of junk. Let's get the quad." And they're like, "Oh no, never mind. We need that one."
I didn't mention this before, and we haven't talked much about John Boyega, but yeah, I
So
don't want
good.
to say that the performance is bad, but like, it's kind of does take me out a little bit because it's like every
It's
single
comedic relief.
scene, it seems like he's amazed that he's in a Star Wars movie.
I'm okay with that.
Like
He's a
I
fucking
mean,
star. But
there's
think about this. Think
yeah,
about from his character. You're a stormtrooper.
yeah.
You were stolen at like birth, basically, and
No,
trained
and this
to
is like his
clean shit
exploration
on
out.
Starkiller Base, and then you're actually with the rebels,
Yeah, no, I believe you. Like this is his first time really out in the world on his own. Like there is this sense of awe and discovery
and you're with Han
in
Solo.
every single moment. But I don't know. I just kind of it's funny. There's like that infectious joy there too. Like it really works for it. But I really hope that we get into some more complex stuff in his character that's hinted at, especially in that.
Maybe just imagine, what if he's Lando's kid?
Oh, please don't do that, please.
Just imagine.
Honestly,
So, you know,
I really would
where was Billy D. Williams in this movie? How do
next.
you go from being a general
Hey,
in the Rebel Alliance to not mention it all?
that would be a if that's his kid, then that would be a good emotional tie, like especially when they are reunited at the end. But for God's sakes, it doesn't have to all be about legacy, like for
It's not a
just to
legacy.
bring
It's
these
just
people
that there aren't
together.
many black people in this galaxy, so it would make sense if some of them are related.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, it's just it really would be nicer if fresh faces were just that, they were fresh faces, they were new people that didn't have some sort of tie like to the Force or something. Like I really hope that Rey is not a Skywalker. If
She has
it's
to be a Skywalker.
no, the Force can come to anybody. That's the entire point of
I
it,
know,
except for
but she's a
midichlorians. So
Skywalker.
if she is a Skywalker, then it's just gonna be
Like I am.
it's if
Look,
it's a
okay,
blood
look,
thing, it may as well
we
be
haven't talked about
midichlorians.
this yet. That final shot of the movie, probably my favorite moment in the film, where I almost cried. Like I almost like just the build up to it, the way like she's walking up there all alone with the lightsaber in hand, like looking for this guy who she doesn't know what he looks like. I'm sure there's. I mean, you've seen this universe. They don't fucking have Instagram profiles. And she finds this hooded figure, and the way that she's looking at him, the way he's looking at her, before she even takes the lightsaber out, like to me, just through the body language and like the way the tears are welling in his eyes and the way her tears are welling up, like like I could just see their conversation, or maybe they were talking in the forest, but she's like, "Is this yours? Are you mine?"
Well, see, I don't know. I hate that it seems like they're obviously hinting at that, and it feels like they're trying to hide it at the same time, which I really, really hate that, honestly.
Well, he just, dealt with his fucking nephew turning to the dark side.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
probably too afraid, and then look at his father before him and what happened with him. Like he's probably so afraid that the force is so strong in his bloodline that any one thing could happen and it would destroy everything.
which makes sense. I mean, I'm not going to totally knock the idea if it makes for a good story, but it's really annoying that this movie feels like it has to tease it, like it can't say anything definitive like that. Like,
Well,
the
it's
whole
what
Kylo
do you
Ren
mean the
and
whole thing where it's Luke Skywalker doesn't get one line of dialogue?
well, it could have been referenced earlier. I don't know, like when Leia is hugging her for a long period of time, and they just there's that moment where
Telling you. Where she tells her, "May the force be with you."
yeah, I
She
don't know.
walks away.
It just feels like it's still trying to hide something there, even though it's showing it to us in
Look,
plain sight.
Leia
Like,
knows how to search her feelings now. She learned in return.
yeah, no, I know.
Pretty sure that she would know, if for no other reason than her fucking brother had a kid.
It's just,
Plus, based on the
but you hear what I
age
mean,
of
right?
Rey and the age of Kylo Ren, like they're the same age.
But you
I
get what
would
I mean,
assume
right?
that
Is
he
that
abandoned her right before he
you
disappeared.
get what I mean, right? It's why present it to us like it's so obvious, yet still act like it might be a secret. Like, why not just say it? Because it's really annoying
I
if
mean,
they're
they
still
kind of do
covering it
this.
like this.
They kind of do the same thing in A New Hope when it comes to like Anakin's dad. I mean, Luke's dad, where
No, because no
Obi-Wan's
one
talking.
sees that coming.
Well, you don't see it coming in retrospect. If you rewatch it, you totally do. Well, I mean, well,
Well, no, it
obviously
makes
you
sense
know
to the
it,
build-up, but there is
but
nothing that gives you any like indication that that's what that is.
I was pretty confident as soon as they said that was Han's kid that that had to be Luke's kid. It makes more sense in terms of their battle that they would be cousins and all their chemistry together. The way that Han is like really nurturing to her because maybe he doesn't know because he's been away, but he can sense it. I don't know.
That we'll see. I mean,
I don't know.
I,
I just my gut is telling me that it's his daughter. I really hope it is. I mean, it could be anyone's daughters. Like you said, it's not
I
the
mean
force
that would
isn't
be my hope,
secluded
but
to just the Skywalker clan, but given that Anakin killed all the other Jedi in the galaxy for like besides Yoda who died of natural causes, you
yeah,
know,
it's
I
well,
they're
we
like
don't know. There's others that could have made it. I mean, in Revenge of the Sith, we
oh
know
yeah,
that
there are a
they're
couple,
all
yeah, for
scattered.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like maybe there's 10, and obviously there were the other ones that Luke was training with Kylo Ren, who I would assume those died too, because
Hmm.
if I was Kylo Ren, I would have killed them because those could be potential like
Yeah.
nemesi in the future.
Uh,
Like they needed an extended like maybe Star Wars doesn't show flashbacks, okay? So I highly doubt. Well, they did
they
have one
kind of
here,
did. Yeah.
and that one was really good. I loved like I really wish like that was better than
I
the
need to pay
Empire
more
Strikes Back
close
like
attention to that
cave
one.
sequence with Darth Vader. Like that was so good.
No,
It was
that
so powerful.
my big issue with it is like it really is like they're just showing it to us like it's plain as day, like it's the obvious thing. But it's like, can you just say something that gives it a bit more indication instead of making me think, oh, it could be something else?
It was that look. Like
I mean,
I
like
knew the
I'm all
movie
for
was gonna end.
visual storytelling and making things like
I swear to God, like if I almost cried, like I was like really close
I don't know.
to that moment. Like if they didn't have to say anything,
It
but if
just
they
still
did, it
feels
probably would have pushed me over the
it
top.
just still feels vague enough that it could be something else, and that's the thing. The thing
I'm
that I
okay
hate
with
about
that.
that is that they'll eventually reveal what it is, and if it is not the thing that you thought that they were setting up, then that could, that can
Imagine,
totally
here we
betray
go.
everything you thought it was before. That's my only issue
How
with
about
it.
this? What if they do a exact page out of Empire, and at the literal end of episode 8, Ryan Johnson films a scene where General Snoke is fighting Rey, and he tells him that he's her father. If that happens, people would be done with this series. They would just be like they wouldn't go C9 no
Yeah,
matter
I
what.
think there's only like a 10-year difference between them two, but
What, Snoke and her?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Domhnall Gleeson and Daisy
No,
Ridley.
no, no, Snoke, the
Oh
fucking
shit, yeah.
the hologram,
Well, okay, yeah, yeah, my bad.
whatever you want to call it, like First Order
Yeah, no, that
Emperor.
would probably be bad. But okay,
No, yeah, I loved John Gleason in this,
yeah, I like he's not given that much to do, which
but
is
he's
kind of
so
a
good.
bummer.
That speech, that we should talk about this in the actual review, but that speech right before they blow up the planets,
It's
like
like
you can sense that he's very
Third
serious
Reich,
about it. Yeah,
definitely,
like
yeah.
so
He just
fucking.
has that look, and like you can see that that's why they cast him in that part. It's still a little hard for me, I guess, to imagine him as the bad guy because I love About Time. Like, just it's still I see that
Fucking
movie.
ex
It's just like,
machina.
yeah, he's way too nice of a guy to really be like that. But no, I mean that is a good moment. He still has not gotten that much to do, but I'm sure he'll do fine in the sequels. Also, but Gwendolyn Christie, who has a
Has
really
like
cool
zero screen
looking character, yeah,
presence.
she hasn't done anything yet, and I mean
I
she's
like,
still alive for a reason. So I really hope that they can do
well, yeah,
something cool
well, I
there.
don't know. They threw her in the trash compactor, so
No,
if she's
you have
gone,
to bring her back. You can't just make an excuse at
they
Comic Con
no,
later
yeah,
like, oh
they
yeah,
have
she's
to
dead. Yeah,
with the way that they end her and like, oh, my people are gonna come and they're gonna fuck you up, and the way that she remembers Finn and their whole interactions in the
hmm
beginning, like, pretty sure that she's gonna be hunting him down.
yeah.
Especially if the rumors of Boba Fett being alive still and like coming out of
The
the
Sarlacc
pit,
pit.
like if that could happen, imagine like, imagine he lived his whole life in there.
Hasn't
Imagine that's
Robot Chicken already answered that question?
I don't know. I don't fucking. I'm not a religious or Robot Chicken watcher, but imagine like they make the solo Boba Fett movie, and it's just like a one person play in the Sarlacc pit. It's just him. It's just him in there thinking about his father. Would he be thinking about himself since he's a clone of his dad?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll find out in the holiday special.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that supposed to be his origin of how he? You
It's
know what?
his
Yeah, we'll
first.
find out.
It's his
It's the first appearance.
introduction.
Yeah, for
No,
sure.
his origin is
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones.
And hey, supposedly the piece of animation, it's one of the good things that came out of that special that people like.
It's animated. I thought it was live action.
The Boba Fett thing.
Yeah, no, he's actually live action on it. Like he makes an appearance and he's like
I thought
standing
it was
side
an
by side.
animated segment, but
It might be both. I don't know. I've seen a still, or maybe it was like a promotional material. But
all I
I've
know is
seen.
that the Boba Fett introduction is one of the things that people
No, it's the
say
only
is
thing.
legitimately good from that.
Yeah, it's like the only thing, which is weird too if you think about it, because that the holiday special came out in '78, so
hmm
they built his character up for 2 years. And when you think about it, he has like very little screen presence in any of the films outside of Attack of the Clones. Like
Yeah.
his screen time in both Return and Empire is like what, maybe 12 minutes,
No, but
something like that.
he's much more integral though in Empire. Like you definitely
Oh
feel his
yeah, yeah, yeah.
presence. In Jedi, it's kind of a joke, honestly. Like especially when you get to that scene when he
He
falls
gets
in. Like
ass kicked.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just kind of standing there shooting out like wires, and his jetpack gets hit and he just falls. It kind of seems like negligence on his part.
Well,
No,
I think we've talked about all the spoilers. There's not that many out there. I mean, if you're at this point in the episode, we've already ruined them for you. But Han dying, that's the only real one.
that is the
Well,
big one, yeah. And
and
the Kylo
Han's
Ren,
and
yeah,
Kylo Ren. They're
yeah.
both Han Solo related. There really isn't anything else anyone could have spoiled for you unless we did furthermore here and you didn't think about it. But yeah, thanks for listening to this kind of pointless episode. Maybe we won't even put it up. We also have some other shows out there, so you should check them out. You can find us online at Dollar Reviews on Twitter and Facebook. You can also send us an email to dollar.review@gmail.com. You can tell us that we ruined your childhood by ruining the movie, even though we told you not to listen to this. So until
I
then,
think this is gonna go. You can't not post this at this point.
I can do whatever I want.
No, hey, it should go up. You know that
Don't
there's
underestimate my
people.
power, man.
Hey, there's people that have seen the movie that are probably gonna want to hear what other people think about stuff like this. So there's no reason not to post it.
I made this joke. I was like, what if Luke fucked R2D2 and their kid was Rey? And then, because then that would make sense why she can
Just stop
understand
it. Just
droids.
stop it.
How the
No.
fuck did she just met this droid for the first time and she can 100% understand what BB-8's saying?
You know what? People in Star Wars, some of them speak binary. That's
No,
just
no, no,
my
no.
yeah.
I get it, but she's never met this droid before. As far as you can tell, on the Jakku, there aren't droids because everyone's poor as shit, and she just happens to understand droidanese.
Like I said, people just happen to speak droid in the Star Wars universe, but I'm not going with your theory, dude. That's way too
It's no,
ridiculous.
it's totally asinine, but in the grand scheme of things,
Just
if
stop
you
it. Just stop it.
if you had a time machine and you went back and told like a super Star Wars like nerd before Episode 1 came out that Anakin was born because the midichlorians impregnated his mom, they would like look at you like you were fucking crazy, right?
Not really. They'd probably be like, okay, well, it's a fantasy. That
No,
makes
no
yeah.
fucking way. There's even still like I don't know. Someone was joking. It was like, what if it's Luke and Leia's kid and they were inbreeding to make the Ultimate Jedi?
Jesus Christ, dude.
100% midichlorians now.
Just stop. Just stop.
What's the worst that could happen? What if they like brought someone back who shouldn't exist? I was still waiting for like something to like harken back to the prequel trilogy. To anything, to be honest.
Apparently, Hayden Christensen might be back.
I don't have a problem with that. I think he'd be a cool Force ghost.
I do too.
If he showed up and he was like, if he was talking, like, okay, here we go. So, in like the moment where Kylo Ren decides that he needs to be good or whatever, and then like his grandfather appears in ghost form and tells him, "You stupid fuck, don't worship me. Like I was doing it for the wrong reasons, and you trying to be me is not doesn't make sense because I was never me," or something like that.
And plus, he's a
Like,
good Force ghost now, so
yeah.
yeah.
So like so like I don't even have like that. I think that's pretty much why Luke was just hanging out on that planet. He probably just wanted to hang out with his dad and get alone time. Like I really wish, like seriously, like it might happen. I don't really hope it does, but like if they remade A New Hope and
It
they
won't happen.
made,
Don't.
I know it won't happen, but like Qui-Gon was hanging out with Obi-Wan, man, because that's like the coolest part about the end of Revenge when Yoda's like, Obi-Wan has found a way to contact the Force and after the afterlife or whatever. Because obviously he told him about this, and that's why he wanted to die on purpose, you know. Um, and all like it's also weird that like at that point Jedi's just like disintegrate, but Anakin didn't. They had to burn his body, or maybe it was just the mask. Who knows? Or maybe no, he died of natural causes. That's why he didn't disintegrate. Whereas in this one, it's like they get hit by lightsabers and they don't die in one hit; they just get injured. Like everyone else, like they lost a limb and shit, or they died on the spot. And now it's like it's realistic. How didn't they use the hilt on the lightsaber? The only time they used it is when Rey was pushing it into the snow and then it like hit his foot or something. But at no point did he actually do like a hilt like fucking defense or something.
Eh,
That's the right wording.
man, I don't know.
I don't think they were as clever as I thought they were. Like I thought the jokes were they hit home really well. Like they were done really great when they had good delivery. Like almost every single one.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Trash compactor one, the R2 one, the 3PO one, the fucking Falcon reveal. I still think, even though everyone praised the first trailer for this film about how it didn't reveal anything, I think it revealed too much.
How?
The the whole fucking conversation on the Millennium Falcon about it all being real. I hate when the dialogue I can like place it perfectly.
What do you mean? Like,
I don't know. It didn't reveal too much, but I'm saying like I don't think that the the fucking Batman versus Superman trailer revealed that much more than the final trailer for this film. You already knew who the villain was in this film before you even knew his name, so
I mean, all that the final trailer did really was just set up the three main new characters and just the idea of everything that happened in the original trilogy being a myth now.
you know what we forgot to talk about?
What?
How the fuck Poe goes from dead in a TIE fighter to, oh yeah, I ejected and I was there all night, and then
That's the thing where if you've seen the trailers, you kind of figure, okay, well, he's going to show up in an X-wing anyway. You know that.
I know, but like my first impression when I saw him was that the Rebel Alliance made a clone of him. I swear to God, that was my first gut reaction when I saw him in that X-wing, because it
Could
doesn't
still
make
be true.
sense. It could be true, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Like
He is the least
he
fleshed out character,
he
so.
didn't necessarily die. I can buy that he ejected and he just landed in the desert. But if he was there when Nightfall, like how like he didn't have any transponder or anything. Like he didn't even have a jacket. He got his clothes stolen from him. Like how the fuck did he get like the rebels to pick him up? Like I think he seriously died and he's a clone. Like they made like a clone of the best fighter they ever had, and
I think he
they just
might be
have
reading a bit too much into it, and he manages to probably get a ship and out, takes off.
maybe I don't know. It's like maybe it's because I like Oscar Isaac and I think he has like we didn't talk about the Max Von Sydow stuff either. We didn't even talk about the map of Luke. We didn't talk about a lot of stuff.
No, we talked about the map.
We
Yeah, I
I
mentioned
think
the
we talked
R2
about
thing, yeah.
in the other episode. Did we talk about it in this?
Yeah, because I imagine that's a big thing that people are
Well,
bitching
we
about. That's a
mentioned that
big spoiler.
we said why did R2 have the piece, but we didn't talk about why there was a fucking map in the first place.
Well, no, we definitely mentioned the map in this.
But like seriously, why was there a map in the first place? Why did Luke plot his map? If
I
for no
don't.
other reason that he wants his daughter to
Okay,
find him.
here's the thing. That's not a map to Luke. That's a map to the Jedi Temple, and that's just where they happen
That's
to know
true.
that that's where Luke is.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot the Max Von Sydow conversation in the beginning. That's the first temple. Forgot about that. That's very true. But yeah, if you think about it that way, maybe R2 had the rest of the map because he sensed the midichlorians in Rey.
Or maybe Luke was just like, "Wake up, R2, tell them where I am."
No, like
Yeah.
that's not the way it worked. It was
I
the
don't know.
whole. Plus, I don't think droids can be in tune with the Force. I think it's just that like
Well, you just
think
said
about like
midichlorians, like,
I know I was making a joke, but like
come on.
R2, obviously loved his master, and the fact that he left him for, let's say, 20 years,
Hmm.
like, it put him into, like, serious depression, so he stopped functioning, literally. And so, like, being around his offspring, like, it just... How fucked up is it that they just had R2 under, like, a dirty blanket, too?
That just shows you how long he's been rotting there.
I really hope 3PO has, like, a way bigger part with R2 in the next one. It's like... There's gonna be like 4 different paths of the story. There's gonna be the Kylo Ren stuff with General Snoke. There's gonna be the Huck stuff trying to make a new Death Star and fucking shit up. You got the Rey stuff with Chewbacca. You got the Finn stuff with whatever the General Phasma or Captain
Captain
Phasma.
Phasma, yeah.
And then obviously you have Luke. I mean, and then you got Leia with Poe Dameron. Like he seriously like he opens the movie on such a high note. His one-liners are hilarious.
Yeah.
You know nothing about him at all. You just know that he's a good pilot. He's according to the text, he's the rebels' most trustworthy or best. What do they say?
Something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. Just bullshit. We'll see what Ryan Johnson does.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to. I just hope it doesn't. Yeah, I hope he gets like Mark Ruffalo to make an appearance,
I will see.
or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That'd be really cool. I could totally see him as
he could sneak in a cameo. I'm sure.
I could
yeah.
totally see him like on like in the First Order base being like not a general but like shouting orders at someone.
He could probably do I don't know, a Daniel Craig thing, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, I would totally use him.
Okay, by the way, I saw Simon Pegg's name in the credits, but was he the guy that sold Ray the food?
I don't know.
Like,
Maybe.
I thought that was him when I saw the name, but
That could have been him. I know he's in this, so that could have been
yeah.
him. I don't know. Like I thought the Cantina song, based on the info that whatever his name from Hamilton helped, I thought it was gonna be like an actual song, like Return style.
No, it's just the music.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was cool music, but you could see, like, it was very obvious that they were going for a Mos Eisley thing.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just weird. It's weird to think about.
I didn't have a problem with that at all.
I didn't either. It's
It was
like,
clear what kind of movie they were making right away.
well, not right away.
Yeah. they said they were making a movie to appeal more towards
Oh,
emotions
I thought
and
you meant like
nostalgia.
when. I thought you meant like when the movie started, the way it like opened.
Yeah, like within 5 minutes, it's like, okay, they're giving this information to a droid.
Who
He's gonna
who
get
is?
captured.
That's what. Who's Max Van Sydow in this movie? Like
He's
who
the guy that
that has the
yeah
fucking thumb drive with the map? I'm
yeah.
saying like, who is he? Why does he have that map? How do you get like a huge star like that to have a nothing part?
I don't probably because you're worried that he's gonna die any second and you don't want to give him something too big. I mean,
No,
honestly, no, he's very old, man.
they have to like incorporate him again. They have to explain, or maybe it's
Maybe they might
also.
bring him back, but he is pretty old, so
I don't mean like bring him back. Just like give him some gravitas. Like why? Like I said, there's comics out there and that flesh out more of it. But like I want to know who he is. Like why did he have the information? Why did not maybe Luke didn't leave it to him, but why does he have this missing piece of the map?
hmm.
Like it doesn't.
Hmm.
It like there's raising questions like they do with the new characters where you want to know more about them, and there's shit like that where you just go, are they too lazy to come up with a real reason and you don't care?
I don't. I mean, it sounds like you're looking for an explanation for like every single detail,
Not
which
every detail, just like for all of the open-ended questions that you're pretty sure
well,
or
that's
I'm
not
pretty sure
that's.
aren't going to be answered.
I don't feel like that's a major question for me. Like,
No, not major,
yeah,
but like I think given that they got a huge star to play that character, that there is a question that you should raise just on the fact like he got top billing.
yeah. Well, I mean, there isn't an. I don't know. Maybe he'll be more crucial later on, but there isn't really one
And I'm pretty sure he died. They
person.
said kill all the villagers,
Well,
so
there isn't one person in this that isn't recognizable. I mean, or at least to some degree, it's there's always some sort of somewhat famous face in there. You know, they got the Indonesian guy from the raid in there.
yeah.
Then I know I recognize the guy that was on the other side in that scene, but I don't know his name.
I didn't know. I thought that Daniel Craig was going to be one of those guys. I thought he was going to be one of those randoms.
Like you knew that he was in this beforehand?
Yeah, like I fucking slash film tweeted it,
Oh,
and I was like pretty mad at first, and then like I thought about it for a little bit. And I was like, well, it's not going to be obvious.
yeah.
So I
I'm
was
glad I went
looking.
Friday morning because I know there was going to be a bunch of shit right away.
I was looking like throughout the movie for him. I couldn't find him. Like, and I wouldn't have been able to recognize
You
his
know where he
face.
is though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I told you it's the stormtrooper with the interrogation scene. Not well, yeah, interrogation
Yeah.
scene.